is Anarchast.
Hey gamers, welcome to another edition of Anarchast, your home for anarchy on the internet. I have coming in from Las Vegas in the USSA, Kingsley Edwards. I met him at the, I believe, the Miami Bitcoin conference. He's another Bitcoin kid. He's actually 28, but he looks like he's 20 or younger. We met, and he's developed and is developing and is actually going forward with a thing that I've always wanted to see exist pretty much since I was a kid, a way to sort of wager on the internet or over video games with other people when you're playing these games, and he's using Bitcoin to do it. It's called Leetcoin. Sounds really cool, and he's got some big news that he wants to talk to us about that's coming up, and we're going to talk about how he got into all of that and everything involved in that. So if you like video games and stuff like that, you'll like this episode, and even if you don't, you'll probably like this episode. So, but the first thing we have to ask Kingsley is, how did you become an anarchist?
So it happened back in 2007, and I just randomly saw like friends post on Facebook, and it was a Ron Paul post. And at the time, I was kind of neoconish. I had recently, like a few years before that, I just got out of the military. I joined the military after high school because of 9/11, and so I just looked up this Ron Paul guy. Had no idea who he was. And it was one of the debates where I think actually they were talking about 9/11 or something like that, and I think it was the Rudy Giuliani one. And I was like, what is this guy even talking about, you know? And so I naturally, like, you know, thank God for the internet, because I just started Googling away, and the more I read, the more I became really fascinated with just everything. And also at that time, you know, I got in the military, or in the military too, you know, I started getting my first paychecks. I was like, okay, I'm getting paid in tax dollars, and I'm not making much, you know, I was enlisted. And then they're also taking the money away from me. So I'm getting paid with tax money, and then they're taxing me on that tax. It was like, it didn't make any sense to me. So I started researching. Actually, the first thing I started researching was like with Ron Paul, you know, what he was in. As far as like documentaries or anything I could read about. So I ended up finding Aaron Russo's Freedom of Fascism, and that kind of led me down the spiral of the income tax and the Federal Reserve and all that fun stuff. And then from there, it sort of piqued my interest because I was starting to get into economics and finance just regardless on the side. I was starting to become, you know, study for my Series 7 and 63 to become a stockbroker. And you know, just one documentary after the other, and I just became sold on the idea at the time of at least libertarianism. And so I was actively involved in, you know, Ron Paul 2008, 2012, and also like the end the Fed movements in between that. And then just, you know, naturally the natural progression from libertarian to anarchist kind of took hold. Just getting more into, you know, Austrian economics, and then finally anarcho-capitalism. So,
awesome. Yeah. Ron Paul, you did it again.
Yeah.
He's they're going to have to turn off the internet because too many people are getting access to too much truthful information, and I think they're starting to realize that. But so let's just keep talking and spreading information while we can.
Yeah.
I don't know how long they're going to let us keep doing this. And if they do turn everything off, including video games, which I think will be because we'll still chat over video games if we have to. We'll find a way around it. If they turn off video games, then finally those 16-year-old boys will get out of their house for once in their life and do something maybe. But not to make too much fun of them for doing that, but you know, they seem so apathetic to everything, which is actually good in a way, because I'd prefer someone who doesn't know anything to be apathetic than really really strongly believes in what they believe in, which is totally just BS.
Yeah, I agree, and that's like one of the things where they say, you know, like with all these campaigns of getting out the vote and all that kind of stuff. Well, don't get out the vote. I mean, like educate. How about educate people instead of getting out the vote? Like, I heard even I think it was some city in California where they were actually, I think, paying people to vote or something just crazy. It's like, so now you're going to be paying people to show up with something they're completely uninformed with, and to vote just based on what, you know, no merit. So yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, it is funny, and that happened in Ferguson with a lot of the people. They're asking people during the police state that was going on there over the last few weeks, what should we do? And a lot of people were like, we got to get out and vote. And it's like, well, first figure out what the problem is, because I don't think you really know what the problem is yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't get out and vote. Yeah. Don't get out and vote unless you, or actually never get out and vote. Forget voting. It's stupid. It's horrible. It's immoral.
I'm trying to turn this off. Sorry.
That's all right. We'll try to mute it maybe. You also brought up Aaron Russo's Freedom to Fascism, and I'd almost forgotten about that. I was just yesterday, actually. It's funny how sort of energies sort of come around, but I'd almost forgotten all about that. That actually really woke me up quite a bit. A number of years ago, I forget when it came out now, but it was quite a few years ago. And for people who haven't seen it, you should definitely try to see it. It was quite a bit before a lot of the internet sort of information started to really come out, and I think it kind of got a little bit lost in the shuffle. But he was one of the first sort of bigger names to come out and talk against the system. And he was a big name Hollywood producer. I don't know if he knew he was dying at the time he wrote it, or I don't know if they killed him because he wrote it, but he did die like soon after the documentary was released. And he had actually sat down, he says, with one of the Rothschilds, and they told him before 9/11 that they had this all planned. Oh, yeah. Was it Rockefeller? Okay. Yeah, it's two heads of the same snake. But and he said that they told him the whole plan, and you can make up your mind whether you want to believe him or not, but they said, watch out, in about a year we're going to do something, and then we're going to blame it on people in caves in other parts of the world and start major wars and start to take over all the liberties of people. And then he actually ended it with saying, and we're going to, at the very end, chip them all, which is now big in the news that they're starting to talk about with Obamacare, which is, I think what some of their plans here is to get the U.S. into socialized health or medical care. Has nothing to do with health, and actually chip everybody so that they can say, oh, we have to keep track of everybody or someone's going to steal medical care or something like that. And that's really the mark of the beast, and it's just horrible. So I just wanted to bring that up because I thought that was a really great documentary that I don't hear many people talk about anymore. And I think it's something that a lot of people should check out because it had some really interesting information in it that I've never seen anywhere else. But let's get into what you're doing. Video games, Bitcoin. Are you a big video gamer yourself? Is that how you sort of started up Leetcoin?
Yeah, I was in high school, and
sorry. Okay. It's just I have two chihuahuas here. I'm just telling them to be quiet. Happens almost every episode. It's either kids or chihuahuas.
So I was a big video gamer in high school. I was pretty much, as soon as I was able to get kind of like a decent computer, I really got into games like Counter-Strike and StarCraft. And basically my mom couldn't, keep me away from the computer screen for a while, but it was really good. I mean, and you actually, even now, a lot of kids that get involved with especially PC games, you actually kind of learn a lot about computers too, messing with that. So more PC obviously than console. But so yeah, I got into that, and then I just life happened, and I didn't play video games for a long time, just very rarely. And then early last year, one of my friends, Jaron, his company got funded a Bitcoin exchange in New York, so he got VC backing, and I was like, Bitcoin, wait a second, I heard about this crazy magic internet money years ago. What's going on with that now? And so I started looking back into it last year because I, just like many people, I heard about it back in like 2010, and I just kind of, especially as a libertarian, you're like, gold, silver, and so I kind of just wrote it off then. And then so I started doing a little more research, and obviously the Bitcoin ecosystem was pretty more thriving than years ago. So then, he was actually my friend again, Jaron, who we were just, talking online via Skype or something. And he was showing me this Minecraft, which is another video game. He was showing me this. It was called actually Bit Vegas. So it was in Minecraft, the game, and it was actually like a casino where you can bet Bitcoins. I thought that was like really cool. I was like, wow, this is interesting. Especially like, I was pretty much raised in Vegas since middle school. So I've been just kind of grown up in this environment of gambling. So that whole idea was great. But then I was like, wait, why am I in a video game and I'm playing regular casino games? Why can't the actual video game itself be used to, wager upon? So that's where I started doing, just some like alpha tests with just like the Reddit Bitcoin subreddit and stuff, and checking to see, how this might work. I'm not a programmer, so I had to, figure out kind of build the team and figure out what we needed to get in place to make this happen. And so basically, long answer to your question is that I was a gamer, and now obviously I have to be a gamer, which is great to get back into the swing of things. And I'm slowly becoming more and more addicted again, but I try to make it, where it benefits the company at least.
Yeah, it's nice to mix pleasure with business. And when I was younger, I was a big gamer. Back then, it was something called the Intellivision in 1970s. You wouldn't believe how bad it was. Just look it up. For all you younger guys, you won't even believe it. I show my kids it sometimes, and they just can't believe that. Actually, they kind of like some of the games. It's kind of funny. They're so simple, but they are still kind of fun. Yeah. But it was like less than 8-bit graphics. It was just it was just embarrassing, really. Yeah. And then I got into PC games, and I got into that quite a bit until I was like 16 or so. And then I kind of fell off. And then I kind of came back around when I was around 30 with the first Xbox with Halo. And we figured out, or we didn't personally, but there was a way before there was Xbox Live to play multiplayer with Halo, and you had to actually hack the game to do it. But it was super awesome. It was still to this day the best game I ever played, the most fun, because you'd be 8-on-8 with some other team, and we'd have like a giant flat screen in my house. Not a flat screen, actually, back then, before flat screens, really. That was 2000. It was like a giant projector, like a 110-inch projector. Yeah, Chihuahuas, yeah. Bruce. And sorry, a little bit of dog chaos today. The other day it was kid chaos. Today's dog chaos. Yeah, so I kind of understand. I haven't been into video games since. I just have been too busy. I'm too interested in all these other things I'm doing. But the other thing you brought up that's really interesting is that video games are really actually quite good for kids, especially this Minecraft. I knew nothing about it. The first person who told me about it was Dana Martin on our first Anarchast episode, and she does unschooling, and she brought up how her son plays Minecraft all day and how it's a great education. And you can actually build things inside that game, like you said. Like it's like you create your own world. It's quite amazing. You can learn a lot just from playing that game. Yeah, they're doing more and more research,
as time progresses, where they're showing that video games can actually, have a lot of benefits for, kids growing up or whatever. So, yeah, it's definitely, especially now that we're creating the potential to obviously monetize your skills too. So, and then there's even been articles more recently. They already have this in Asia, but now in the U.S., where I think there's a school in Chicago and some other ones where they're going to be offering esports scholarships. So it's getting more and more kind of the same. Like I said, in Asia, it's already there, especially in South Korea. But
they have like leagues and stuff for video games, don't they?
Yeah, it's getting to the point where it's pretty insane. Like where they're filling up, stadiums of people just watching people play video games, and that's what we're really trying to capitalize on, and even make even bigger, and kind of put that Vegas spin on it.
Yeah, I'm actually really glad Leetcoin didn't exist when I was younger, because after about the age of 10, I was never the best player in the game. I was always getting, you always knew it was some 8-year-old kid who just sniped you from like a million miles away, and you don't even know how he did it. So I'm glad it actually didn't exist. I would have lost a lot of money, but now I'm glad it does exist, because I always said that'd be so cool just for fun, because people do like to gamble a little bit. And I know it's not gambling because it is skill-based, but the people do like to play a little bit with money. That's why sports betting is so popular. It's like they don't really know. They're just cheering for their team, and why not put some money on it if they feel like it's just fun, right? And it actually gets you more interested in the game. So I can see a massive potential for Leetcoin. When I did meet you, I was very interested, and you sent me a little bit of a business plan. We're talking about maybe raising some money for it. I forget what exactly happened. I think you weren't quite ready, or I wasn't quite ready at that point, and I don't know what's happened since then. So why don't you give us a rundown on how Leetcoin is developed and what's going on? I know you have some big news coming up that you were just telling me about. Tell us all about that.
Yeah, so kind of about the time where we kind of stopped communicating regarding that, we got accepted into the downtown projects here in Vegas. They have a accelerator, so it's run by the downtown project here is run by Tony Hsieh, and he's the CEO of Zappos. So they're really trying to create, this tech incubator here in downtown Vegas, and we got accepted in the accelerator here. So we've been in it for about 2.5 months. So since then, we've been, kind of going back and forth with this large game developer, Riot Games, and with supporting League of Legends, which is right now the most popular game out there right now. So they have 30 million plus daily users and like up to 70 million monthly unique users. So it's a really big market. So what we're kind of creating, which we're really excited about, and I actually wasn't even into this type of genre of games, but now I'm getting more and more into it. But
yeah, I'm surprised I haven't heard of it. Just briefly, what kind of game is it? Is it one of those multiplayer first person shooters, or what kind of game?
It's called a MOBA, so it's similar to like a StarCraft type of strategy game, except
strategy based.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So it's basically you have like a team of 3 or 5, and you face another team of 3 or 5, and you kind of just like go at it with all sorts of different attack moves and stuff like that. It's pretty fun. And so, yeah, what we're kind of creating, not on top of it, but kind of as a third party, is almost like a poker type environment where we have a matchmaker where players can go on and they can join. So it's similar to like online poker where there's always tables available, and so you can go to our matchmaker and there'll be matches available, and you can join matches and play with other people against other people, and then basically win Bitcoin or lose Bitcoin if you're not so good. But what's great about Bitcoin is that, besides all the obvious, is that, players can play for, 10 cents, 1 cent, whatever you want to get comfortable, $1, no big deal. So that's, it's just like you mentioned too, putting kind of your money where your mouse is kind of what we say. It adds like an element more of excitement. It makes any type of game even more pleasurable to play. So we're really excited.
Oh, totally. I like that. Are you going to use that as a tagline? That's a great tagline. Putting your money where your mouth is. I feel like I've read that somewhere.
I'm not sure where.
I'm sure someone's got a copyright or something, but maybe you can change it or something to get around these ridiculous government patents and copyrights. But yeah, that'd be great tagline for it. So is your product ready to go, or what stage is it at?
We're just putting the final touches on it right now. So we were supposed to launch this Friday. There's 25% chance that we might be able to, but I'm telling most people now that we're going to be launching next Friday around 1 p.m. Pacific. So that's going to be our big launch day for League of Legends. We're looking forward to it.
So is it integrated into the game, or is it sort of like a second-party, sort of third-party app?
It's like a third-party app. So you go to our website, leetcoin.com, you sign in, create an account with us. You deposit Bitcoin into your account, and then you can, like I said, kind of view the matches that are available. Or you can create a match if you want to play with your friends. You can make it public, private. There's like a lot of ways that you can integrate with our system. We do have a API that's available. So we're trying to build traction with League of Legends, and then continue conversations with other game developers so that they use our API to further integrate our system into future games. So that's going to be the biggest thing for us, is really pushing our API to other game developers. So you'll be able to log in, and it basically will kind of be the same thing as like when you play online poker, where it's you can play for fake money or real money, and you press the Leetcoin thing, you automatically log in. And then you're good to go.
That sounds awesome. I'm glad that you're making this come to fruition. I've thought about that for decades, really. Why hasn't anyone done this? And of course, before Bitcoin, it was a lot harder because of all the regulations with money and gambling and all these sort of things. But Bitcoin makes it a lot easier to get around those sort of things. And of course, like you just pointed out, you can do very micro transactions. You just can't do that with a credit card or a PayPal account. The fees alone will suck up all your money. So yeah, that's great that you're doing it. I can't wait to see it when it goes live. Try to let me know, and I want to just log on and check it out. I guess I'll have to get that game though. Is it a PC game?
Yeah, it's a PC game. It's free too, which is great.
Oh, and that's why it's the most popular. I guess. So how do they make money?
They make,
is there add-ons?
Yeah, they make money by selling kind of in-app features. So you can buy like characters
cool.
or skins or whatever.
Oh, that sounds really cool. I'll have to check it out. That sounds exactly like what I was thinking. Like these video game guys got to get more creative with what they're doing. Because I remember, might sound funny to you, but back in like 1996, we were playing like Quake 2 on our. I had an internet company. We had like 50 employees in the office, and every Friday around 4, we'd just order pizza and play that video game all night long, and all multiplayer all over the network. And back then, this is like 1996, you know, like on a PC, like not even a, I don't even know what they call the computers today, but like just crappy computers. You could actually upload a 3D model of your own face and put it on the character. And it was just hilarious, right? Like playing with people in your office and everyone's got their own face and you're like shooting them and stuff. And so, yeah, it sounds like this, finally, I don't know it's been I don't know why they've been so uncreative. It's probably, I actually don't know how to explain it, but I know major people at people like EA, Electronic Arts, back in Vancouver where I used to live. A lot of them, the people who used to work for my company went there, and I'm talking to them like, come on, remember the games that we used to play, how cool it was? You could upload your own character. We could upload South Park character maps, South Park character 3D images into the game and play with like Kenny or whatever. It was awesome. And then I just haven't seen too much of that lately. So I'm glad to hear that it's finally happening. It sounds like games like Minecraft and all that are really starting to really break the boundaries and really get really creative and create your own world inside the video game, which is amazing. So I don't know if there's anything you want to follow up with or talk about. It's all fascinating to me. I love it. But let us know if there's anything else you want to let us know about Leetcoin.
Okay, yeah, well, I just wanted to go over also just kind of another integration that we have. So I think we showed you in Miami, in Miami. We also have, we took our servers offline for a bit because we had to focus on League of Legends, but we also have integration with first-person shooters too. So those are going to be back online in the next few weeks as well, where, that's another exciting thing because first-person shooters are personally my favorite. And so instead of like winning or losing Bitcoin based on matches, what's kind of unique with this is that you can actually win Bitcoin just based off of, kills, deaths, or, planting a bomb or rescuing a hostage or whatever. It depends really on the game. So any kind of event can really, it depends on like the server and what type of game can trigger, a reward. So there's this kind of, infinite possibilities, especially with our API. So yeah, it's just pretty exciting and looking forward to promoting Bitcoin to gamers all across the world. And then as Bitcoin offers easy way for gamers, including the micropayments, but also just being kind of a global money in itself. Like we've had gamers from Sweden, Canada, the U.S., and Germany all play on one server. So it's an exciting time for us, and we're looking forward to launching.
That's great. And so let people know where they can find out more information about it. I think it's LEET coin. Is that correct? In the hacker speak?
Yeah, exactly. Leetcoin.com. Exactly.
All right, so check it out. And, another innovation, like I was saying, there's nothing but opportunity out there now thanks to Bitcoin. It's going to be a huge evolution in the way things are done. And so many people still think there's no opportunities out there. So Kingsley is a great example of a young guy who's just gone out and he's actually taken something he's passionate about, video games, and combined it with Bitcoin. And I wouldn't doubt it. I don't know if you're still accepting investment or looking for investment, but I might be interested depending on where you're at and what valuation you want to do. But I could see this company becoming massive if you can really get tied into a lot of these big video game companies. Yeah,
we're really, we're connecting the dots with esports and kind of casino groups and gaming technology companies. So we're actually going to be exhibiting at the largest gaming convention at the end of this month. I'm getting like pings like nonstop here, so let me close all these. So we're going to be exhibiting at G2E, it's Global Gaming Expo here in Vegas at the Venetian. And so, I mean, if you just take a look at the list of players, because another reason why we did it is because, myself, I love poker, but at the end of the day, it's just a card game. It's a great card game, but what's the future of it? How long? Poker will always be there, but what's the evolution? So, and we really feel that this is it. So we're starting to make contacts with these casino groups and gaming technology companies, and trying to get connections in Asia as well, because not only is gambling huge there, but gaming's huge there too. So there really is huge potential. And we were actually just at a pitch event at UNLV here, and we were voted the most acquirable company. So, which I really believe we're building this out of passion, but I think it has really big potential. So.
Oh, absolutely. I'd be very surprised if you don't have a big company or you're bought out in the next couple of years by one of these video game companies. It would make total sense for them to do. So good luck with all that. I wish you the best of luck. I'm looking forward to seeing how it all works out. And another great innovation, another great Anarchast, another anarcho-capitalist out there creating wealth and creating solutions and new things for people that they want, which is what capitalism really is. And so that's it for Anarchast, your home for anarchy on the internet. Peace, love, and anarchy.
This is Anarchast.